What up, guys? For this video we're going to go over some pretty cool Rust tips, 5 in particular, that I think will really help some new players and maybe some players who just don't know about these cool little tricks that you can do in the game. So to start off, I'm at Train Yard, and this can be done at water treatment or airfield, any place with a tunnel like this. And if you notice that when you go in day or night, it gets pitch black. And say you don't have a flashlight, I have a laser sight right now. It's kind of hard to navigate and figure out where you are and what you're doing. A lot of players get lost or confused. One thing you can do is look at your map, hold G and then run. You can tell where you're going and where the correct way to go is. If you just follow your icon, you could see and figure it out. You can see I know where to run because I can tell when my character hits a wall, and then I can turn right, and then so on. So that's tip number 1. I have used this a million times in game. I highly recommend using it if you don't know already. Tip number 2. Most often in Rust, the lock crate drops at Train Yard. And some of the most common places to hold are on the trains, or on these crane things. There's in Water Tower and Skybridge and on Main Building. And almost always people die running down from Main Building or falling off of Skybridge. It's extremely common because there's people that camp and wait to grub. So one thing that I feel like I don't see enough is if you're up here and you're holding Train Yard and your teammates get the lock crate and you have an inventory of loot, instead of just going down the normal way, you can slide off the back of this building by spamming spacebar and hitting these little ridges as you fall down. It'll stop you from taking most of the fall damage. If you do it really well, you can hit none. And if you're up here, you can even shoot through the warehouse at people, or you could just escape by running all the way down. And then there's the wall you can jump over here, right here, and you can escape the monument. So that's tip number 2, and let's move on to tip number 3. Okay, moving on to tip number 3. This has to do with submarines, and I'm sure a lot of people know this already, but I feel like if you don't, it's really useful to know, especially if you're building a boat base or whatnot. And it's pretty simple. If you're inside a submarine, you can loot boxes, dead bodies, basically anything that you can see through the walls of the submarine. So I can grab this loot and just escape and go underwater. And if you see a dead body in the water, say someone died on oil rig, you can pull up and just look anywhere and loot it. You can also do the same thing for your fuel storage. You don't have to actually get out and put it in from the outside. I think is really OP, and I've seen it used a lot recently since I've been playing. And let's move on to tip number 4 and tip number 5, and they both are over here at launch site. So the first tip, this one is known a lot by veteran players, but if you're taking Bradley, and you take him by ticket or anywhere over here, or you just want someone, an extremely strong position is on top of this building. And the only way to actually get here is have someone fly on a minicopter really low and land on the top. But there's a way to get on this building without using a minicopter. And I can't show you this because I'm by myself, but if you have 3 players and you want to get on this building, you can triple boost by having someone stand here and then someone jumping on your head, and then the last person on top of that person's head, and you all spam spacebar. You can triple boost someone to the top of the building. If you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, look up triple boost inside a launch site on YouTube, and I guarantee you there's a million videos on it. But it's an extremely helpful tip, and it's extremely overpowered for getting on this building and having an insane vantage point. And then the final tip for more new players who don't know much about launch site or good parkour jumps is right here, the Airfield tower jump. And if you notice, a lot of players in videos will jump over this wall to get into Airfield. And basically what you need to do is you want to jump as you hit this little ridge. If you walk here, you can see there's a little bump in the ground, and if you jump while walking up the bump, it'll boost you high in the air. So you just have to run at the wall and spam spacebar until your character boosts really high over the bump, and then you'll jump over the wall like that, and then you keep spamming and you'll get right over the wall. So just look for this and then just keep doing it until you master it. It'll be extremely helpful because you can sneak into here and here. And that's all the tips for this video. The last thing I wanted to show you is a bonus tip. I don't know how to do this, but I've seen it talked about. I've never really seen it be used in a video, but if you want to try and sneak onto this building here, you can actually sit here and, like I was talking about with that little jumping at the end of walking up a little bump, it gives you a boost. You can somehow jump on top of this crate. I don't really know what this jump is called, but if you want to look this up and find out and let me know, you can let me know. But you can get onto this crate and then get here, and you can shoot through the windows and then get on top like this. If you're solo, obviously, or you don't have any teammates to boost you up. Other than that, that's all the tips for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more cool tips for newer players or veteran players or whatever, just let me know, and I will see you guys in the next one.